made on Ridgeway Sports Podcast, episode 30, aka Week 1. College football is back. Let's go. Hunter Keister back with
K-Mac. We back on track. Let's go. Episode 30.
Here we go. Starting it off, we will be talking about Week 0, aka the first batch of NCAA football games that happened this past weekend. It was a pretty interesting day for football. I do want to start it off with the abysmal 31-28 Northwestern win over Nebraska in a shocking turn of events as Scott Frost loses another close game. His record is now 15-30 as head coach of Nebraska, and he is 5-21 in one-score games. Just some absolutely mind-boggling stats for his tenure so far at Nebraska, and this time he chokes away an 11-point lead and ultimately falls to Northwestern 31-28. Second half, they came out and Nebraska was just absolutely awful in everything. And Northwestern wasn't really doing anything too crazy either. Nebraska was just shooting themselves in the foot. They had a couple of turnovers. Thompson played really well in the first half, 17-24 with I believe like 231, but the other quarterback was like 20-23. So they were dueling, but then they kind of both fizzled out in the second half. But still ended up being a good game, 31-28. Northwestern won that one. Carl, what do you think? We both took Nebraska. We were definitely both wrong on that one.
I was kind of keeping up on it on my phone, but I really wasn't watching it. I didn't really get to watch a whole lot of the Saturday games just with how a lot of stuff went down. I was being on a night shift schedule is kind of rough at times, but that's for another day. But yeah, I think it's definitely been an underwhelming stint for Scott Frost since he's been there compared to what the hype was. But I mean, I would say it's going to take time, but a 5-21 record in one-score games usually shows one thing, and that is bad head coaching. Because a lot of close games, if they're one score, shows that your players play well. They stuck to the game plan, but just some poor coaching decisions ultimately is what costed them. I mean, that game Saturday.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I mean, that mind-boggling onside kick in the third quarter, midway through, up 11 points. How do you, he justified it by saying it was all about momentum and wanting to keep momentum on his side, and
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, you're up 11 already, just coast through the game like you're fine, and he literally, there was one way they lost that game, it was from him, and he lost it for him, and as a fan, and that's got to be just disheartening and frustrating in so many ways to just know that, it just came down to your head coach making
Not even the players.
Yeah,
Not even the players.
It really didn't come down to the players. That's what's got to be the most frustrating. It came down to your boneheaded head coach making a terrible judgment call and ultimately costing them the game from that point on. So they lose as Northwestern picks up the win. And, for them...
Were there any other notable games that you were keeping your eye on from Saturday?
Not really.
I think that was about really the only one
that caught
my eye.
The Utah State-UConn game ended up being pretty decent. All the other games, Florida State won 47-7. Obviously, we assume that. 38-6, Illinois beats Wyoming. I was surprised to see that not be at least a little bit closer. Utah State beats UConn in a Mountain West Conference matchup. And North Carolina puts up 56 on Florida A&M. That's okay.
Wow.
And Vanderbilt, 63 points on Hawaii. If they're putting that up on Hawaii, I wonder what Michigan can do week 2. That will be interesting. But yeah, there really wasn't much to talk about. Just some warm-up games, and
Just
it was
the starters.
it was a cool day of football for me. It was nice to just kind of be able to kick back and watch a day of football. I hadn't been able to do that in a couple months, and it was great. So I am so excited for week 1, and I cannot wait for Michigan to get underway. That will be all for our week 0 little reaction, little pick. I like it. I'm excited for the pick'em that we'll be doing this season with the college football season. But let's jump into the next topic in this podcast, as we will be talking about Jim Harbaugh, his comments, the quotes he's made about the quarterback competition in Ann Arbor this offseason between Cade McNamara and J.J. McCarthy. I'm really intrigued by a lot of his comments. He's never been this open about the team before as he's been this offseason. And I think, honestly, it was just him realizing Michigan isn't going to sneak up on anybody anymore. He can't really hide his cards like he did so well. And I think that's why Michigan was able to catch so many teams by surprise. But he's been really open about the depth chart, who's playing, and especially the quarterback competition, as he's had some interesting things to say. What do you think, Kurt?
It's crazy how a few weeks ago we just really wanted to figure this whole spectrum out, and Jim gave us an answer for once before the season on a huge decision like this. Usually, like for example, his first year, he didn't announce his starting quarterback. Literally, you didn't find out till the game started.
Game time.
Hence, good old Jake Rudock. But it's good to get an answer. I was really surprised he even came out and just gave the game plan.
I seen that and I was like, what?
Super ecstatic when I heard about it. Just going to quote it real quick. He said it felt like coming out of camp, he had 2 starting quarterbacks that could lead them to a championship. And he essentially said that Cade had a good lead because JJ wasn't practicing in the spring, and he caught up with this play in practice. So, sounds like they're going to start Cade week 1 against Colorado State, and then JJ at home for the night game against Hawaii week 2. And then after that, they're going to make a decision on week 3. I guess they're going to give them both a game to see kind of what goes down. I'm all in, though. I think it's a fair way to do it. And I think, hopefully we get the answer we're seeking.
Yeah, I'm really excited with the way he went about it. There's pros and cons to everything with this situation, and only getting a game from each quarterback is, I guess, some red flags for some people that were kind of opposed to this idea and how they were doing it. But I like it. They had a whole year last year with Cade being obvious number 1, but now with JJ getting more of a chance all through camp and the off-season process, I think that 2 games should be enough, and by week 3, he should know who his dedicated starter is for Big Ten play. But I think a lot of people don't realize that no matter who the starter is, they're going to play. They're going to play. Either of them is going to play a lot.
What do you mean by that? If whoever the starter is going to get all the snaps?
No. I believe the backup, whoever it is, will play a lot.
You still think they're going to split it? They're not going to be full-time committed?
Not split, but I think they'll still...
like reminiscent to what last year was? How JJ would get in there sometimes for good time?
Maybe a little less, but like if JJ was the starter, I could definitely see there being situations where they throw Cade in.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think that like Cade just rides the bench and transfers. Like I think they still try to get him worked in some ways because he's that good. You can't leave him on the sidelines. He proved he's a big time winning quarterback. Like if JJ's the guy, then
if he's the guy, then you give him all the snaps.
But
because then why even do this? Why even give them both the whole game? Why not just already split snaps from the start?
I get it, but that's what I truly believe will happen. I don't know. I don't know anything as much as the next guy, but I truly believe that
they'll still have a role for whoever the backup is.
Yep, I believe so.
Ooh, so we're on total opposite ends on that one then. I feel like they're giving them both a game, and then whoever wins out of those two, I mean, is literally going to be getting all the snaps. Because, I mean, that's crazy. I don't know. I mean, that'd be interesting if that's how it worked out, but... So then, who are you going with? Who do you think it's going to be?
If I had to give my prediction, we are 3 days away from week 1. If I had to give my prediction for who the starter will be week 3, I'm going to say right now, I'm going to say JJ. And I'm going to say JJ because Harbaugh has never publicly endorsed his quarterback. And he's doing it now in the middle of a quarterback battle. He's publicly endorsing and saying good things. As you look at some of the quotes that he was quoted saying about the situation entirely, saying too much good things about JJ to not give him a chance. I think that he realizes he got a gem of a 5-star quarterback, and I think that he realizes that he needs to see the field. And he deserves to have an opportunity at least, and then you have a guy like Cade that can come in if JJ is not performing and has shown that he can lead a team. So I think that my week 3 starter will be JJ. What do you think?
Just going off what Harbaugh said, he said Cade is arguably one of the most improved players on the team. That says a lot too, though.
It does.
Because
he didn't not say anything about Cade, but I just felt like it was more impactful at a better time for what he said about JJ than him just saying he's the most improved. Because I do believe that. Like, just from what they're saying, everybody, like media, Big Ten media, whatever, I believe that Cade McNamara really got on his stuff like we wanted him to.
Yep.
And that is great to see because I want 2, 3, 4, 5 great quarterbacks, right? I don't want to only have one. So if Cade's great and JJ's great and they both play, I would love to see it, but we'll see what happens with that.
I mean, just reading between the lines, he said Cade's one of the most improved and that JJ didn't have spring practice, but he has ascended to where he's at based on his performance. So that means what he's saying essentially is with the time he's already had, he's already going to end up way up Harbaugh's board. Like, he's already
done
really good.
Yep.
And he said that's not a demotion to Cade. That's just a promotion for JJ based on what he's been able to do so far.
Yeah.
It's like he's both complimenting them to such a high extent. If I had to say,
I really
think
like
it's going to be Cade.
I think it's 50-50 right now. I think it couldn't be more 50-50. Like, just from
it's more even for
just
sure.
From what everybody's saying, I believe this quarterback race is literally 50-50. So you think Cade?
I think after 2 games it will be Cade. I don't want it to be Cade. No offense. We've already touched on that, but I think he's going to stick to Cade.
Wow.
I really do.
Interesting. Very interesting. Only time
because
will
he
tell.
said he's improved.
Yeah.
A lot. One of the most improved players on the team.
But he said a lot of good things about JJ, though.
I know. He gave them both the green light ready to go.
Right.
So maybe you'll end up being right then. Maybe they'll be like, well, we got to find a way to use both of them. I just don't see how you would.
It'd be hard, but like.
I don't know how you would do that with Cade because you can do that with JJ just because
his
the
playbooks
are different. With the schemes could be so different with either of them. I think Cade's would be more to maybe more of a passing game, pushing the ball down the field.
Yeah.
But JJ, they're running some read options, some kind of running, some scrambling, something where that's involved in there.
It'd be harder if JJ was the starter and Cade was the backup.
That's what I'm saying.
If Cade is the starter and JJ is the backup, then I firmly 100% believe that it's like probably like a 60-40 split between the two. If Cade's the starter full time, I think it's 60-40. If
You can't.
If JJ's the starter, it's honestly probably like 90-10.
That's
like,
what it should be.
I don't mean Cade will play a lot, but I think that he's good enough that you still have to put him in.
I mean, he will
in
for smoking teams.
Right. But it's like, it'd be hard because you really don't have that package like you do for JJ to put him in. How do you really take JJ out and say Cade will do better at this spot? Because at most of them spots, at least from what I've saw so far, JJ's been better across the board. So I'm really excited. We will be in attendance in Ann Arbor week number 2 versus Hawaii, the night game. I am super excited for that.
Absolutely. We'll be there to see his first start, which was what our plan was initially.
Yeah, we said last year when we saw him play that we wanted to see his first career start, and it just everything aligned to where it really didn't work out for us to go this weekend. We could have, but it would have been rough. So we just elected to go with next weekend, and JJ gets the start for week 2, so we will get to see that. So we are super pumped for that. But is there anything else you want to add to the Michigan? I mean, Harbaugh is just like in general, his statements have been like he's given out the depth chart. He said that true freshman Mason Graham will be a starting member of the line,
yep.
And I think I was on Twitter last night talking to some people, and I said that I think that's crazy, and I think that shows how good he could be because Michigan has been stacked in the interior defensive line for years now since he's been there. So I think that just shows that Mason Graham could be a very, very good addition to a hopefully front seven that stays hopefully as dominant as last year. But I know I can't get probably ain't getting all that, but they got good potential. I think I really think they do got good potential. So.
All right, are we gonna start diving in on the real week 1 of college football now?
Yeah, I think we're going to get it started. Week 1 college football is back. Let's go. There is a great slate of games to happen this week. Usually you don't see games like this until like the later half of the year, but they came out with 2 just great games. I don't really know what else is at 12 o'clock because I'm only worried about Michigan, obviously, at 12. But we do have Georgia, Oregon at 3:30, and then Notre Dame, Ohio State at 7:30. So, it's going to be a really good day of football with some high-power matchups.
Yeah, not seeing anything for tomorrow. Nothing that really catches my eyes. Or Friday night. Oh, geez, Michigan State's on?
Purdue and Penn State play Thursday night. That's not a bad game. I guess we'll start there. We'll start with that game. Why not? Purdue, Penn State, 2 unranked teams, but really close to being ranked, especially for Penn State, I believe. So, Kurt started us off. Who do you got? Purdue or Penn State?
Okay, that's actually tomorrow. Holy smokes. Okay. Penn State versus Purdue. Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna go with Purdue here.
He's taking Purdue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I say they pull a little Ohio State magic in them.
That's crazy. Week 1 magic out of Purdue. I like
something bold.
it.
Something
I like
bold.
It. Starting off bold. I for sure am going to take Sean Clifford and the Penn State Nittany Lions, as I do believe with him being healthy, they were unstoppable, and then he got injured and their season went down the drain. But coming back healthy this year, he's got a decent supporting cast around him. I think Penn State could be decent. I don't think they'll be anywhere near the top, but they could be in that 3, 4, 5 range in the Big Ten when it's all said and done. But Purdue is no slouch, and I do expect a pretty decent game, honestly. I'm very excited for this matchup. It's great they're doing this, starting out spacing out some games, trying to give some different time slots for watching football. So that's really cool. I like it. I'm excited. 8 o'clock kickoff too. That'll be nice. All right, bringing it back. I think that will do it with our Michigan coverage. I liked what Harbaugh came out and said. I think that that shows that he's confident in his team, I believe, if he's willing to come out and give out details and what he's been working on with his team. So I am excited. Hopes are the momentum is there. The hype is real with Michigan this year. And I'm excited to see what they can come out and do this year. So, moving on, we are going to get into our Week 1 college pick'em. Let's go.
Yep.
Starting it off, top 25.
Yep.
Top 25 matchups. Gonna do them all. Gonna have 22 picks in total with the Purdue and Penn State game. So most of these picks are gonna be right off the dome. Who we want to win, and then next. We're going to talk about the big ones, but for most games it's going to be who we think will win and next. So, starting off, Kurt, I'll let you go first. Central Michigan versus number 12, Oklahoma State. Who you got?
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, that's a very easy Oklahoma State for me as well.
Other 7 o'clock game, rivalry game, I believe, West Virginia going to Pittsburgh.
It's pretty close. I'm going to take
Pittsburgh.
West Virginia in upset.
Next game, 7:30, VMI going to Wake Forest. Wake Forest. Friday, September 2nd, Western Michigan going to Michigan State. Michigan State is going to win that game. Moving on to the Saturday games, starting with 12 o'clock noon, Sam Houston going to Texas A&M. Texas A&M.
Here we go. Let's go. There it is. 12 noon. Kickoff on Saturday. Number 8, Michigan Wolverines in the big house versus Colorado State. Kurt, is there even a question?
There are no questions, only answers. Answers to be found out Saturday. Michigan, 12 o'clock noon, ABC, hosting against Colorado State.
Let's go. Definitely taking Michigan. Not even.
Taking Michigan, I'm gonna say 38 or 41 to 10.
Yeah, give me I like 40. I like 45 to 13.
Definitely covering the spread. That's all I gotta say.
Yep.
Gotta be in our A game. Moving on to the next game. NC State going to East Carolina. NC State. Next game, 3:30 p.m. Houston going to UTSA. Houston. The Roadrunners.
Yeah, I'm going Houston.
UTEP playing at Oklahoma.
Oklahoma by a mile.
The big 3:30 game. Oregon going to Georgia.
Oregon.
Oh, man.
I'm going with Oregon.
I'm going to take Georgia here, and I'm really wanting to see how their defense looks after the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Want to see what that offense does. I still think they have that same quarterback from last year, but I'm not sure.
Stetson Bennett. Yeah. I do believe Stetson Bennett. Yep, he is still there.
I'm taking Georgia to win this game, but I'm gonna go 28-21 Georgia.
Yeah, I think this is
28-21. Definitely some points scored
here. I
here.
think this is a close game.
Close game though.
I'm gonna go 24-21 Oregon.
Wow. Game-winning field goal or something, or they're gonna have the lead and make a defensive stop.
I'm gonna say game-winning field goal.
Game-winning field goal.
Yep.
Here's another notable matchup. Cincinnati going to Arkansas. That's the other 3:30 game.
Ooh, that is a very good matchup. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were a season ago, but give me Cincinnati in this matchup.
Give me Cincinnati too. I still think they'll be a decent team, but not as good as last year.
No.
Booth and Cook going to the U. I'm taking the U.
Yep, Miami.
Troy going to Ole Miss. Taking Ole Miss. BYU going to South Florida. You know what? BYU.
South Florida in an upset.
I hope South Florida wins, but BYU. Rice going to USC at 6 p.m.
USC.
USC will win this game. Utah going to Florida, 7
That's
p.m.
a good matchup. Florida's unranked, but they got to be one of the highest unranked teams at this point. That is a good matchup for number 7 Utah, but I do still think Utah gets it done.
Yeah, I'm going to take Utah. I want to see what they're about, though, so I kind of want to keep my eye on this game. I kind of just, commercial break, we'll take a look. I'll
probably have this game on the computer or something.
Yeah. Want to see what Utah's number 7 ranking is getting what's all the noise about. So I'll take Utah in a competitive game, though.
Yeah.
Miami of Ohio, the Red Hawks going to Kentucky. Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky.
No question.
Yep.
Illinois State going to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's getting that dub.
Yep.
Albany versus Baylor.
Baylor.
Yeah. All right. Obviously, one of the bigger games of the week, Notre Dame going to Ohio State, 7:30 ABC. I'm gonna go with Ohio State here winning. Big time. I like Ohio State here, 45-17.
Yeah, I also believe that the Mark Freeman official era, despite his loss in the bowl game, his official start to his tenure as head coach, starts with an L to his alma mater, the Ohio State Buckeyes. I fucking hate them. I hate them both. I hate them both with passion. I hope that they tie, because I don't want to see either of them win. Or I wish they could both lose. That'd be great. 0-1 for both of them would be great. But since I cannot have that, I will take Ohio State in a slaughterfest. I think that offense will be way too much for that still young and now losing some of their best pieces on defense in the Irish. And I don't think that the Notre Dame offense could come close to keeping up with Ohio State's fast-paced, high-scoring offense that they have. So give me Ohio State probably like 45-13.
As far as the game flow goes, I do like. I see it going as the game's close until about the first half, and then I think Ohio State's going to open up the second half with adjustments and start clicking on all cylinders. I could definitely see a scenario in which, maybe their offense takes a minute. It's week 1. I mean, not everything clicks right off bat, especially in some of these closer games, potentially. I like Notre Dame to keep it close until the first half, maybe within a score, and then I really like Ohio State to come out second half and play really good and put it out of reach, essentially.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that Notre Dame fans will have a lot to talk about, a lot to be happy with their first half performance, but I do think that Ryan Day and company comes out, makes the adjustments that they need to, and
really take control.
It's really going to come down to Ohio State's defense for how this game goes. Because if they're still getting ran on all over, Notre Dame has a pretty good fighting chance in this game. But it would take a Hassan Haskins-like game for Notre Dame to even really have a chance for me. Give me Ohio State by a lot. We did miss one game, Alabama, Utah State.
Yeah, that's another game. Come on now.
Alabama by 70.
Bama
by 70.
Come on now.
But,
Monday night, Clemson, Georgia Tech.
Oh, that's the bottom. Okay. So, last game, Clemson, Georgia Tech, rivalry, ACC, number 4, Clemson, Georgia Tech, Monday night. Give me Clemson.
Clemson's going there and leaving Georgia Tech with a win. Clemson for sure.
Yeah. So that will do it for our Week 1 Pick'em. We will keep tally and let you guys know how we do on the next podcast. But now, I want to end off the Pick'em just talking a little bit about Michigan, Colorado State, what we expect to see from the Wolverines, and just preview that just a little bit before the game on Saturday.
Absolutely. Want to go a little in depth and kind of just talk about how we think things are going to go down. What's the game plan going to be for Cade week 1, starting out here, so on. I don't really think it's going to take us long to really get into sync, offensively speaking. I really see the offensive line controlling this game. Going to see Corum pop off with some nice runs, and I really look for us to have a good rushing day that maybe leads to some good play action passes in there. Maybe we'll see if K can do that. I just kind of hope they don't let off the horses. Like if they're throwing it all everywhere, let's keep getting this chemistry done with the receivers. That's what I want to see. Once it's a passing game, I know we can run. We know we can run the ball. Like we can do that, but I really want to see us actually throw the ball with all these receivers.
Absolutely. We got a stacked receiver room, and I want to see whoever the quarterback is air it out. But as I'm sitting here thinking, one of the interesting things for me will be how much each quarterback actually gets to use the playbook. Because obviously, against Colorado State and Hawaii, you don't want to give up your money plays, but you also want to allow each quarterback to prove why they should be the starter. So you kind of have to give them a little bit of reign, but not enough to give up your playbook. So it'll be really interesting to see who is able to do what and what kind of plays are even called for each
100%.
quarterback in each game. But I also do believe that the nation's best offensive line from a season ago got better somehow, which is crazy to me. So I think that they continue their dominance up front, which would only promote the running game to me. But this offense just screams vertical to me, and I think that with a guy like Blake Corum, he can run it when he can run it out of the shotgun, between the tackle, whatever he has to do, and without explosive receivers and quarterbacks that are playing good, could be a good one. But
if all goes to plan, it should be a smooth day.
Yeah,
I really like us to have. It depends on what we do playbook wise.
Yeah.
But
that could also affect the score for sure. Just the fact of what they're able to do and how they can move the ball.
Because I could definitely see. I don't want to see it, but when you get those big leads, a lot of teams just sit on the ball and run it. And if you're doing that, then you're basically limiting whichever quarterback is playing.
Right.
Which would be Cade essentially this week.
Right.
So then you're not really actually seeing them compete. So if I'm guessing, I gotta say we're gonna be throwing it then. That's what I'm on board with.
I want each quarterback to have a 100% fair chance to show what they can do and win the job.
And let's see how the defense looks a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see.
With the losses and the coordinators, that's also a big.
Want to see who steps up?
That's also a big talking point for Michigan, not having the coordinators they did a season ago. But I'm excited. I like it, and I think that was a nice and long, around 30-ish minute podcast. As we are also going to announce at the end of this podcast, we will be doing 2-a-week podcasts. So the plan is to now go forward with a Thursday upload instead of a Thursday recording. We're going to do a Thursday upload for our NFL and pick'em and stuff like that, and then we're gonna do a Friday night start college football preview pick'em, talking about that kind of stuff. With finishing that up on Saturday night with our reaction to what happened during the day. So that is the plan for the football season. Just letting
Thursday and Sundays.
Letting you guys in on some of the plans we had cooking this off season. We are excited to get underway, and we want to really get this thing going. So we think adding another podcast a week will help us do that, and we are primed and ready to take over for football season. Let's go. Only a couple more days, and the wait is finally over. Football fans, I can almost taste it, baby. Let's go. I can almost
Y'all
taste
been
it.
waiting.
I'm ready.
Here we are.
I'm ready.
Here we are.
Let's go, man. Gonna be a great time. So we will see you guys again on Friday night to start off our second podcast of the week. We hope you guys enjoyed episode 30 of the Made on Ridgeway Sports podcast. Hunter Keister.
K-Mac.
Peace.
Adios.